This is the Pinellas Power Products Auxiliary Fuel Tank Kit for Honda's new fuel-injected EU7000iS generator. As you're probably aware, if you already own one of these, that the fuel-injected Hondas are very intuitive. There are not a bunch of switches and so forth for you to deal with. The starting procedure, if the generator is stock, is straightforward and simple. Turn the main switch to the on position and press the start button. I shut it off quickly because I don't want to fill the room with carbon monoxide. We are in a small room. It couldn't be a whole lot simpler than that. I wanted my fuel kit and my wireless remote control kit to be just as intuitive as the rest of the generator. So with that, if you wanted to run off of my auxiliary fuel kit, you'd simply take the hose that's included in the kit. You notice that the prime bulb has an arrow, and that points in the direction of fuel flow. You go over to your fuel tank, connect one end of the hose to the fuel tank, and if the fuel tank has an on-off valve, make sure that the on-off valve is in the on position. If the fuel tank has a fuel tank vent, make sure that the fuel tank vent is open. Then hook the other end of the hose to the generator. Then pump the prime bulb, and this is simply to get any air out of this fuel hose. If it's already hooked up, you will not need to reprime this every time you use it. Once it's hooked up and primed, you're good to go. Now, the operation of the generator is exactly the same as it was before. To start the generator, you turn the key to the on position and you push the start button. To shut the generator off, you shut the key off. With my kit, if you are using we'll say a 6-gallon marine tank, and you've got the 5-gallon stock tank filled with fuel, you'd have the ability to use 11 gallons of fuel before you needed to do anything. The way the system is set up is it's fully automatic. If the stock tank is full, it uses the 5 gallons of fuel in the stock tank first, and then starts pulling from the remote tank. So in this case, I've got a 30-gallon remote tank sitting there, and if you have a 5-gallon tank full, then you've got 35 gallons of fuel that can be burned before you ever need to go over and touch the generator. The kit comes with everything you will need except for the tank itself. I do not sell the tanks with the kit because no two people seem to want the exact same size kit, or excuse me, the exact same size fuel tank. I recommend going with a marine style fuel tank because they work, they're Coast Guard approved, they're NMMA approved, and they're inexpensive. They're available from just about any marine dealer and a lot of the online stores and so forth. In fact, even Walmart carries fuel kits or fuel tanks now. You'll notice that the only thing that sticks outside the cabinet with my fuel kit is the hose that goes from the tank to the generator, and that's only when you're hooked to the auxiliary tank. There are no other air lines or fuel lines or obnoxious fuel caps. Mine is not a cheap through the cap one size fits all. Mine is an integrated system that is designed to work with the fuel injected Honda generator. I use an electric lift pump in it. The electric lift pump is rated at 48 inches of dry lift, which means you can put the generator above the fuel tank if you need to. The fuel pump is rated at 15 gallons per hour fuel transfer rate, which the generator consumption is 0.86 gallons per hour at 5,500 watts of load. So the fuel pump is capable of moving 17 times as much fuel as it's required, so you're never going to run into a fuel starvation problem. If you are watching this video on YouTube, please go to my website. It is PinellasPowerProducts.com. I've got a lot more information on the website. If you go back to the beginning of this video, there's a banner across the video that has the name of my website, the name of my company, and my phone number. And of course, if you're interested in my wireless remote control, which is a 4-function wireless remote control that is capable of running this generator up to a half a mile away, all the information about that is on there as well.